Hello, everyone, and welcome. Yes, we're waiting for people to come. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final workshop in the Open Week, in the Open Education Week, which is going to be about teaching your first coding lesson. I welcome you all, and let's all welcome Serko from Code School. Hello, Serko.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, back. Code School Finland help teachers own the 21st century skills as part of teachers' educational curriculum through coding, robotics, and artificial intelligence, improving student learning and supporting teacher professional development. So, we'll be hosting this workshop, which is going to be about 1 hour, and we can start now, Silko, if you wish.
Okay, thank you, Ala. Um, and yes, my name is Sirkku Tahvanainen, and I'm joining you all the way from Northern Finland. And this webinar is for teachers who want to teach their first coding lesson and who have no prior experience in coding. And of course, your students don't need to know anything about coding either. It's their first coding lesson after all. And during the first coding lesson, the most important thing is to get excited about the subject. And also, it's important to learn to try things out yourself. Since coding is all about doing it, you need to code yourself to learn coding. You don't learn coding by reading books or watching videos. You need to do it yourself. And it's all about trial and error. And when you figure things out by yourself, you learn the best. So this is what we will be doing today. And my goal is that after today, you will be able to teach your students their first coding lesson. And we will reach this goal by first going through the lesson together. During this webinar, we will go through the whole lesson. So I'm doing what you will be doing when you teach this lesson to your students. And then after our session, you will also get a printout with instructions. So with that printout, you can also you can follow that printout when you start doing this lesson with your students after the webinar. But before we start, let's go through some vocabulary. First of all, coding and programming. These two words refer basically to the same thing. So you can use either word. They both refer to giving instructions to a computer. And computers don't understand natural languages, so we need the specific coding languages or coding environments to be able to give these instructions. And today, our coding environment is called Scratch. And Scratch that is very popular. I think it's probably the most popular programming environment used in schools all over the world. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. You don't need to download anything to your computer. And it's designed for children, and it makes learning coding intuitive and fun. A single instruction is called a command. And in Scratch, commands are in a form of a block, like this blue block here. Move 10 steps. That's a single instruction, a single command. And when you put these together, you get a program. So a computer program is a combination of commands. And here you see a very tiny program, but a program nonetheless. And this is what your students will benefit from their first coding lesson. They will be introduced to Scratch. And they get to practice coding the way it should be practiced, which is through inquiry and together with their classmates. And they will get a sense of agency by creating their very own program. And when you teach this lesson in your classroom, your students will need laptops or computers, and one per pair or one per team is enough. So let's have them working in teams, and reserve at least 45 minutes of time. And as I said in the beginning, this lesson is best suitable for beginners. And I wouldn't give you any age limits. I would even do this as a first coding lesson for adults also. So maybe the minimum age would be, I would say, 8 or 9. The students need to be able to read so that they're able to figure out the coding commands. So reading skills are the minimum requirement from the student, but I'm not going to set any age limits otherwise. And you do need laptops or computers. Scratch works with Android devices, but for iOS, for iPhones, iPads, there's no Scratch app. And it's best to do this with laptops or computers. And this is the structure of the coding lesson. First, we have an unplugged warm-up activity. And unplugged means that this activity does not require any devices. So we will do this first before going to the computer. Step number 2 is to move on to Scratch and do some inquiring and exploring there. Step number 3 is to create your own program. And as a final step, we will wrap up what we have learned and give a little feedback. Let's go through the warm-up activity. Here, the teacher will give you commands, or the teacher will so here the teacher will be giving commands to the students, and they will follow the commands. And you can come up with your own commands that are suitable for your classroom, but here I will give you some examples what you can do. So I will be the programmer and you will be the computer, and you need to follow my commands the best you can. My first command is a simple single command. Raise your left hand. Second command is wave your hand. Then you can lower your hand. Here we have 3 different single commands, and these could also be combined to a program called a greeting. In programming, there can also be a condition for following a command. In such a case, you will do the command only if the condition is true. So my command here is that if you are wearing color red, touch your nose with your right hand. So if you have color red somewhere in your clothing, only then you will touch your nose with your right hand. And I'm not wearing anything red, so I will do nothing. Only if the condition is true, only then you'll follow this command. So in the same way as you followed my commands, the computer follows commands given by the programmer. And I repeat again, programming is about giving instructions to computers. The difference is that with computers, the commands need to be precise and you need to use some programming language or a programming environment. And it is a programmer's job to figure out the right commands to achieve some goal and to put these commands in the right order. And for example, here we see an example of a program consisting of 2 events. And quite often, the right commands and the right order is found through testing and through exploring. And this is what we will do next. So let's move on to step number 2, which is inquiring and exploring in Scratch. So now I would like to ask you, if you want to do this activity, if you can reconfigure your screen so that you are able to follow my presentation and also work in Scratch. So maybe open another tab on your browser, and I will paste the link to the chat box. So go to that link that you'll find in the chat box and copy and paste the link to your browser. Configure your screen so that you can both work in Scratch and follow my presentation. So get the link from the chat, and once you are there, you should see a screen like this. And once you get here, once you see the cat, I want you to try 4 things with the screen. First of all, click the green flag. Try clicking the green flag first. Then, with your mouse, click the cat and see what happens. Then try pressing the arrow keys, the left and right arrow keys on your keyboard. And the final thing is that press the space bar on your keyboard. So click the cat, click the green flag, try the arrow keys, press the space bar. And if you want to try again, click the green flag again. And you can try all of these things multiple times. Please write in the chat box your findings. What do you see happens when you do these things? Like what happens when you press the key arrows, or I mean the arrow keys, and what happens when you click the cat? Please write in the chat box what you find. So first click the green flag, then try clicking the cat, try the arrow keys on the keyboard and the space bar. And what happens when you do this? Yes, I got one response and you found out that the cat says hello when you click it. So that happens when you click the cat. It will say something, it will say hello. How about yes, excellent. Arrow keys, they showed the cat changes color. That's true. And finally, space makes the cat jump. And what happens with the green flag? Let's go through this together. So we found out that when you click the cat, it will say hello. And with the arrow keys, the color of the cat will change, and also if it's moving back and forth with these arrow keys. It does a little jump with the space bar. And all right, I forgot to tell you that once you click the green flag when it's in the center, then you don't probably find it again, but you can find the green flag again from the upper left corner. So here we get the green flag again. Some of you did notice the green flag up there, great. And yes, it does make the cat move. And it also resets the program. So you get the original position of the cat and the original color of the cat. So you were able to figure this out just by testing. You get the movement, you get the jump, you get the hello, and with the green flag, we reset the whole program. Next, let's create something of our own. So we will move forward to the create step. And I will give you a new link. Let me copy and paste that to the chat box. So here you have a new link. Please go there and I will go there too. And this takes us inside the project. So this is the same project, but now you see how it was made. We see the cat here on the left, on the right, I mean, and in the middle we have all the commands that made the project. We see the left and right movement. We see the space bar keys being pressed. And when this sprite, the sprite means the cat here. So when the cat is clicked, it will say hello. And this is the green flag event that clears the graphic effects. That means that it resets the color back to the original and repositions the cat to these X and Y coordinates. And once you get here, I want you to try a few things. So try to make the cat jump higher. Let me change my screen sharing. I'll show you my slides. Oh, well, maybe I should just show it here. So let's look at the editor here. So I want you to make the cat jump higher by changing the value here with these coding blocks. So you don't need to add any coding blocks, but do change some values here. And all these white slots here, you can change the values in each of these white areas in the commands. So try to figure out which white area, which of these values you need to change to make the cat jump higher. First, find the event that makes the jump, and then try to figure out which values you need to change and how much. And the way to find out is by testing. So if you think that now you have changed the value in the jumping event, then press the space bar and see whether that makes the jump higher. So making the jump is one thing that I want you to try. The second thing is that change what the cat says. So try to make the cat say something different. Look at the code and figure out where in these events we are making the cat say something. And you can take the words hello, delete the word hello, and add something of your own there. The third thing is that try changing the graphic effects in the movement commands. Now the graphic effect is changing the color. But see if you can figure out how to change it to something else. Again, test. And especially with these graphic effects, it's important that you click the green flag to reset after you have tested one graphic effect. You want to reset the cat back to the original before you try the next one. And remember, this won't get broken no matter what you do here. So be brave with these commands and try, even if you don't know where to do things, try some values, try the arrow keys and spacebar and clicking the cat and see what happens. This is one way to figure things out yourself. Excellent. You are able to figure this out. I'll give you some time to test these things, and then we will look through these changes together. So change what the cat says, make the cat jump higher, and change the graphic effects in the movement commands. And remember to test each time you make a change to the coding block. And also click the green flag if you want to reset back to the original cat after you have changed the graphic effects. Oh, I got one screenshot in the chat box. Let me check that. This is interesting to see. Yes, you made the cat say something else and you made the cat jump higher. Also, try different graphic effects with the movement commands. So movement by the left and right keys. Here the graphic effect in your code is changing color, but you can also try different graphic effects. But this was well done. Thank you for sharing the screenshot of your code. Let's go through these together now. So easiest one, probably changing what the cat says. Let me make this a bit bigger. There's these plus and minus signs here. And I'll move it so that you can see everything. So let's first make the cat say something else. And this is the event that does that. So when this sprite, the sprite meant the cat, when you click the sprite, it says hello for 2 seconds. And here you can click inside the area here, and you can add your own commands there. Oops, I'm experiencing some technical problems right now. I don't know if you can still hear me. Let me change. I have another computer here. Just a second. I'll change to that one. Just a second. I'm back. I hope you're still here. Sorry, I'm so sorry about that.
Yes,
Uh,
it's okay. I just entered you. Yeah, everything is fine, so no
okay,
worries.
I opened all my other computers. My laptop totally crashed, and I'm so sorry about this, but let's get back to where we were, which was exploring Scratch. Let
It
me start
happens.
my.
It happens.
It happens unfortunately, it happens. It should not happen during when you are having a webinar,
That's okay.
but let's get back to Scratch. And so we were doing changes to the code, and we changed the greeting or what the cat says by changing the value here. And you figured out how to make the cat jump higher by increasing the value here. And if you test this, you notice that of course you do need to change this value also. So it's not enough to make it go up. You also need to make the cat come back down. So we have, and you notice that it's minus something. So we need to add minus values here to make the cat come back down. So this is how we made the cat jump higher by changing these y values. Since in Scratch, the position of the sprite is determined by the x and y values on the screen here. And finally, the last thing that we tried was changing the graphic effects of the movement blocks. So now the effects is changing the color, but the effect that we want can be found here from the drop-down menu. So here you can see different, oh, that's left going left. So left happens this. I click the green flag. I change to whirl. You can imagine that your students will love this. So this is something that you can try with Scratch. So now we know how this works. These commands tell, with these commands you are able to give the instructions for this cat. This cat will give us instant feedback what your code does. And this is why this environment is called visual programming environment. We get the visual feedback from the stage or the screen on the right. Next, I would like to ask you to add your own commands here. And now you can try everything. It doesn't matter if it's a bit crazy, but do add your own commands from the motion blocks here at the left. So here at the left, we have all the commands that are available. And the way to add the blocks is by dragging them with the mouse to the coding area. So do get any blocks that you wish to try and put them somewhere here. You can put them also in between the existing blocks. You can try putting it here. And unlike me, you do test it after each time you add something. So each time you add something to the events, to test right away. Well, let me get my cat back. And you notice that weird things might happen, but now we're just testing it, so it doesn't matter. And if you don't like the block that you added, you can take it apart and you can delete it by dragging it back to the menu on the left. So please try different commands here. Test and see what happens. And if you like, please share a screenshot in the chat.
If you have any questions and I would like to ask Serka about, you can raise the hand button so we can open the microphone icon if you wish, or you can type your question in the chat box.
Yes, that's correct. Please do not hesitate to interrupt me if you need to ask something. So now it's time for you to create your own program using these motion blocks. Any blocks, put them anywhere, and then test and see what happens. And please share your code in the chat box, a screenshot of your code if you like. Since now you are most probably not logged into Scratch, you are not able to share the code from Scratch. But after, if you want to have an account in Scratch, then you are able to share the code by copy pasting the URL. Then everybody else is able to see your Scratch program and to play with that. And if you want to have an account in Scratch, do request an educator account. With this educator account, you can create accounts for your students. From the Scratch front page, there's 4 educators. Click that and then request an educator account. There are instructions there. You managed to make odd things happen to the cat, and that was exactly the point of this exercise. And when I've done this lesson with students, lots and lots of odd things have happened during these lessons, and that only makes all the children very happy. So that is kind of the whole point of this. You can keep on testing the Scratch after our webinar. I'm sure you will. So let's move forward to the feedback part. It's always good to end your lesson with the little wrap up and with the students giving you feedback, so you know how it went, how did they like that, and how you can improve the lesson the next time you do it. So we already did this create part. We added the commands from the motion menu and we saw what happened. We tested what happened. So now we move forward to the wrap up part of the lesson. And first, let's summarize what we have learned today. So we have learned that programming is about giving instructions to computers. And we have learned that you can create fun programs with Scratch. Even the first time you're using it, you can create something with that. And we also learned important programming habits, namely experimenting and testing. That is important. Oh, I got one screenshot in the chat box. Let me check that before we move forward. I want to see what you did. You made the cats say, good afternoon, and you made it you made it go all weird, and clicking right arrow made it point to weird position. So it's flipped maybe face down when you click the right arrow. That was great. Thanks for sharing that. So this is what we learn. This is what I repeat with my students after the lesson. At the end of the lesson, I repeat these things, that this is the learning outcome. And then I ask for feedback. And the easiest way with young students is asking them to show thumbs up or thumbs down whether they agree to the following statements. But here now you can give me feedback by clicking the react button here in Zoom. You have the thumbs up button down there or in the chat. So you can use that too. So the first statement is that for which I want you to give me feedback is that programming is fun. If you agree with this statement, please show me thumbs up. If you do not agree with that, show me thumbs down. Where do we have the reaction buttons in the
reaction
Zoom?
button? Yes.
But how come I don't find them in the Zoom? Where is it located?
You're using your laptop or you're using your phone?
I'm using my laptop. But I got one thumbs up. That's all I need. Thank you.
From
So I
Habib.
don't.
Yes.
Yes, great.
Thanks a lot, Sirko, for your
Yeah,
for this.
Yes, I still have a few more slides.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, so
I was wondering,
yes,
what if I was, for example, if I were basically a math teacher,
yes.
okay, how can I use such a coding program in making my students more or asking them to be more interactive with the subject itself? Can I ask them to do something regarding math using Scratch?
Certainly you can. Naturally, math and coding go well together, and since Scratch is a visual code programming environment, I would use it especially learning geometry or angles. You could have the Scratch CAD make a triangle. You need to figure what's the angle there, how sharp does the turn need to be there, or you could make a math quiz game with Scratch, have the sprite ask math questions and also check the answer, whether the answer is correct or not. And this way, that makes also learning coding more meaningful if they create something real with Scratch. So it's not practicing coding only for the coding's sake, but also they are doing something with coding. They're using it as a tool. And that's the best way to learn coding. So I would most definitely use Scratch during my math lesson. Let's go through these feedback questions. So these type of questions I would do with the students. I would ask them to disagree or agree with the statement. Programming was hard. Let me know if they found this hard. And I also might ask whether they found this lesson interesting or not. Simple self-reflection like this at the end is always good. But that was the end of the coding lesson. And you will receive the teacher printout, which contains instructions for this same lesson, so you can do it with your own students. And remember that the most important thing is to bravely try things out yourself. Even if you are unsure about your coding skills, do get started. teaching it. That's the best way to learn. Start by making little things first. Start by making the cat say something first, and then make it move and move forward one step at a time. And little by little, you learn to make more complicated programs. Do you have any questions or comments about this lesson or about coding in general? Feel free to use the raise hand button so we can open your mic, or you can use the chat box. Oh, you are not seeing me. Here I am back. Sorry, I forgot to open my video. Okay, you are going to do a personal project at the end of this meeting. Great. That's what I like to hear, because I want you to keep on trying doing things with Scratch. You will find that it's fun tool for you. You can combine it basically any school subject whatsoever. There are lots of instrument sprites ready in the Scratch with real notes, so you can make music with Scratch, you can make art with Scratch, you can make animations, and of course games. So kids love it, and there's no upper limit to the projects that you can do with that. I mean, you can do amazing, really advanced coding with Scratch also. And the exact same programming structures hold for Scratch than for any other programming language. And after you have learned the programming structures with Scratch, then it's easier for you to move forward to Python or any other programming language that you wish to learn. So this is the good first environment to practice. Since here you don't make any typos or syntax errors, since all the commands are in blocks, so you don't get frustrated by missing one bracket or one single character in the code. That doesn't matter. Here you can achieve quite impressive results, even the first time you do work with Scratch. So I think I'm going to let you do exactly that. So thank you on my behalf, and it was great joining you. And again, sorry for dropping out for a moment, but luckily you waited and we continued through the whole lesson. So thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Serko. Just answering Amina, yes, you're more than welcome to upload your projects. In fact, a couple of teachers, they uploaded their projects on the platform in the Arabic course, and we can share it with you, Serko, if you want. They did basically a couple of informative little videos about a turtle and a haddock. We saw it in the Arabic course with Zain. And yeah, you can upload it, and Serko, you can have a look if you want, and you can share your comments and feedback on that.
I would love to see that. How
Yes.
are you planning to share it with me? I mean,
anything can be uploaded to the course itself, to the workshop itself. And regarding the course, we can share it to you. You can you have access to that page, I think, and I can send it to you by email. Thanks a lot, everyone, for attending. You're more than welcome to share your projects, or if you have any question, you can continue in the course page itself, and we can reply to you on that. Have a good evening and see you soon, inshallah. Thank you, Serko, again. Thank you.